So I'm Isa, and that stands for I'm Seeing Stars. And my Govey is Alyssa Savage. That's what people in my neighborhood know me as, or longtime friends. I am a multimedia artist. And I also have my own event business, and I like bringing people together, doing everything under the sun creatively. I literally met somebody recently and they came up to me and they were like, "So what do you do?" Because I do so many random fucking things that like people can't even like categorize who I am as an artist. And I'm just like, honestly, bro, I feel like I just do everything. I haven't really found that specific thing that I can really like call myself, and I don't think I ever would want to do that. Starting out, I was mainly doing creative directing, and I got more into styling, throwing art shows and having those events. I started that back in 2022, and so my 2 year anniversary is coming up soon.
How would you describe your personal style?
Personal style kind of depends on how I feel when I wake up, honestly. I feel more like on the maximalism side most days, like just like the big bows or just like multiple different like accessories. My few like main styles, they range from like how if I'm feeling more masculine or if I'm feeling more feminine. How do I explain this? Like a camo cowboy. Like I'm really into wearing Realtree. Like that's something I've been doing since I was like in grade 10. Or like some days I lean more into like a more ragdoll doll look, especially on days where I feel like more feminine. I feel like just the frills, like the bloomers, the bows is what like makes me feel more feminine. The days where I feel more like masculine, I wear like, I balance out the suit with like, like a skirt or something. It's always accessorized with like something like this.
And you said that you got into styling a
I
bit.
just recently got into it like this year. I worked with like Sam Pilson, with Kaz. I styled him in like just a bunch of random shit that I had. I've been my own like model for styling. Like most shoots I do too. Like I definitely have like a hand in more like how I want to dress myself and everything.
What is your dream project?
My dream goal is to basically create a space where creatives can meet each other, learn from each other, and basically create a workshop. And then to branch off from that, obviously a music festival. That is endgame.
On the topic of dream projects, if you could work with any brand or artist, who would it be and why?
I would say Nadia Lee Cohen, because that is my inspiration for like creative directing and everything. I would just want to work with her to learn from her. I just want to learn from her. I don't care if I, like do anything or anything. I just want to be in her space and like learn from her. She's one of just like I'm just so like in awe of like everything she's done, like her brain and how she's been able to like execute her work. And obviously Tyler Creator.
Tell me about Savage Corp.
Savage Corp stands for, I guess, just my last name into my corporation for my events and everything. How it started was I used to throw hall parties for my 16th and 17th birthday. Whenever I would have these hall parties in high school, I would invite like everyone, like every type of group too. Like it didn't matter to me like who came, like just giving everybody a chance to come to an event and like have fun. And when I was having these hall parties, I realized that like some of my friends that like weren't really like noticed by everybody else all had a creative ability and they were making art and everything. And I had the idea of, okay, like a lot of people are coming to my birthday parties. Imagine if one of my friends that's shy and doesn't have a lot of friends had their art up at my birthday parties and people could see them. And that was always an idea that was planted in my mind since I was, I guess, 16 and 17. And then after I graduated during COVID and everything, it was like 1 year later, me and Lauren, we have the shed in the backyard, and we had a party in there, and we're all chilling, and then somebody's like, Imagine if we had a suit and tie party in here. and and the Lord told me about it, and I literally was like, wait. And then a light bulb just beamed out of my head. And I was like, and that moment I remember when she first told me that, I went and I texted Austin from the Moten, MOTN, whatever you want to call it. I hit him up and I booked his space for an art show. Had no planning or anything. I was just like, I need to book this space and I need to do something in there and I need to do it suit and tie. I invited the 3 artists that inspired me creatively the most to vend there. I had a private event with just 40 of my friends and it blew up. It literally blew up in our community. So many people were messaging me being like, oh my gosh, how did I miss this? And nobody was on their phone. Everybody was just talking with each other. Everybody was wearing a suit and tie. Everybody styled it to the way they wanted to. So ever since then, I decided to elevate it. I rented a bigger venue. And then I had, what was it first? I had the Retro Futurism event that was inspired by the Daft Punk movie. And The Fifth Element. Those are my two, I love those movies. Jean-Paul Gaultier was the costume designer for The Fifth Element, so that's why I was like, I want something with that fashion sense so people can theme it. I'm feeling rough, I'm feeling wrong in the time of my life. Let's make some music, make some money, find some models for wives. And then my third event, which was Camp Savage, and that was inspired by my shrooms trip when I was 17 and me having that tent in my front yard that Lauren also helped me out with. I feel like they turned into more parties than art shows, so I had to I stepped back from it this year just to try out different things, but I had to do a bunch of trial and errors this year to see what I really wanted again, and I want to go back to just the genuine spaces.
Yeah, that kind of brings me to my next question, which is you could go back and do it differently or do it again. Is there anything you would change, and if so, what is that?
There have been times where I've sat down and been sad about how I ended up executing them. Then I realized that I needed to do that. It's still super fresh, right? I'm coming up on the 2-year anniversary of me even solidifying it. Had 3 different themed events, and they all had a different audience. They all had a different audience and vibe, and different artists too that were vending at them. I want to make it more about just coming into space and appreciating art and meeting people. I feel that's so important when you come into a space, and if you have too much of everything, it just gets overwhelming. I'm grateful that I just threw everybody, I threw like hundreds of people into this random ass space where there was, yeah, like you said, tattoos, tooth jumps, henna tats. Literally had fucking motherfuckers performing hyperpop and shit. DJs. I had a guy doing reggae. People hit me up all the time being like, oh, when's your next event? Like, I really like coming to your events. But I'm like, you just wait. Please just wait. If the last event is what you're expecting for the next one, that's not. It's gonna be nothing like that. Like,
I do want to go over some of the projects you've done in 2023 and sort of just recap the year.
yeah. Some of my favorite projects that I did this year was my clothing pop-up I did with Thank Euphoria. We did a collab together.
This guy built this thing. Oh, that looks so sick.
Oh my god! Wow. At least I look back. That's so cute.
Shout out Jackson, Diego. We came together, I presented the idea to them. I met them in March. I literally met them in March this year. They were doing like a clothing pop-up. I would see them at every other event I would go to. Like, they would be set up. And every time I would see them, they would be elevating their shit. Like, they made designs at one, and their products were so good, and they were selling them for like such an affordable price. Like, literally these nice ass like hand printed tees. So I got the opportunity to finally work with them, and people don't even know how like meaningful
Yeah.
the designs
I
were.
wanted to ask you, what does I'm Seeing Stars mean to you?
Oh my god. Nobody's ever asked me that, bro. It all goes back to my Shrooms trip when I was 17.
I know.
I'm not promoting drugs. The Shrooms trip literally like changed me for the rest of my life. At the end of it, my friend was driving. It was like the end. I was coming down. I cried, everything. And we were just driving down these back roads, and I remember looking up, and I saw like all the stars, and I could feel them. Like, I could literally feel like comfort from it. Like, I could feel like something like telling me that I'm protected and that I'm loved. And that's something I've always felt when I like see stars. I've always just had like a fascination with it. Me and Diego and Jackson actually made a shirt design based off of that story, because that was what I felt that I'm Seeing Stars originated from. I'm really grateful for them. Like, that pop-up we did, we turned it into like a whole clothing drop. We did a whole shoot for it. I directed it. I made the set, like everything. I got the people out, casted the models. They let me do my thing, and they like helped me, and it was just like it felt like really, really like a team. Like we all equally had a part in it, but they made sure that my idea got across too.
Wait. You threw a fucking rave?
Yeah, I did. We got it going with some EDM, and I basically threw a fucking rave accidentally. Like, that wasn't even my intention for it. It was so much fun, and I would definitely do it again. I used to be a rave girl.
Who are your biggest artistic influences and why?
That's a good question. Definitely Tyler the Creator, number one. The minute I like got into like the music world when I was 12 years old, that was the only thing I was listening to. And I was only 12 when I was listening to Goblin. That was my biggest inspiration growing up, definitely, because like just the humor that group had, him and that group had, and just how they like carried themselves. Like, they just didn't give a fuck. Like, they didn't care about anything. They only cared about like expressing themselves and like having fun and like not being ashamed of their humor and using it as their creative outlet for everything. I would say that was like my biggest like male influence, and then my like biggest female influence would definitely be a few of them actually. Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu, and also Rico Nasty. They all carry like such a strong creative energy. Definitely Denzel Curry and Chance the Rapper. Come on, acid rap was influential as fuck. We cannot forget about Tizo touchdown.
Wow, I'm seeing stars. I'm seeing the star here. This is amazing. I wish I would have took a photo shoot like this. This is great. Totally nailed it.
What is your favorite cartoon?
Oh, that's a good question. Definitely Bob's Burgers or Fish Hooks. I watch that shit religiously. Nah, I have more cartoons lined up actually. Fucking Rugrats, Hey Arnold. Yeah, Pokemon. 90s cartoons was like what I grew up on.
Anything you want to say? Any last words you want to say?
Thank you to everybody that was there to support me, was there for that pop-up, was there for that rave, just reposted, liked, commented on any of my shit. Like, that's getting me closer to where I want to be in my life, and I couldn't be any more grateful for the people I have around me right now. People that actually, like, genuinely, like, fuck with me and support me, not just for, like, a number, like, on a screen. But shout out Diego, shout out Jackson, shout out Thank You For Ya, shout out Diana, shout out Alice, shout out Maj, shout out Victor, Vu, Brian, my brother Will for, like, getting me the opportunity at the Pearl, Jordy, shout out, who else do I shout out? Alex Popova, shout out, Joe Salmon, shout out, who else? Yeah, just, y'all know who you are. Y'all know who you are. I'm super grateful for all the lessons I learned this year. I really learned, say no. If you're uncomfortable with something, step away. Step away if it doesn't align with you. Because things that will get you to where you're supposed to be in your life, you will feel truly aligned with it, and like, it will all fall into place naturally. You just can't force it. But yeah, I really learned a lot this year, and I'm just super grateful for everybody that helped me out, and everybody that just came out, popped out. Shout out Weenie Hut Jr. Shout out Law Group Chat. Shout out fucking, there's so many people. Like, I'm not even gonna fucking like say everyone, because you know who you are at the end of the day. Like, shout out everyone that came to Savage Corp, that helps me, that took photos. Thank you. I'm really grateful. Like, I'm so grateful for this year. Like, there are highs, but there was also very, very shitty lows. I'm appreciating even the shitty things I went through this year that got me to where I am. This video is me saying thank you. These nuts.